4th-seed Tigers will await the winner of this one tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN.
Offense humming indeed. Tommy, Coach, you guys hung 100 yesterday on the Alabama Crimson Tide. I see you smiling about it. We're taught not to ask yes or no questions, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Is that the best you've seen your team this season?
After the first 2 minutes, we were playing pretty dang well. I thought we were tough all game and pretty resilient after that start. But this is going to be a battle day. It's going to be a war. We got to run to the fight. We got to play very physical. We got to keep them off the glass and keep them off the foul line.
What did you learn about your guys yesterday?
We just keep getting better, man. We keep getting better. We're picking at the right time. But we got to do it again today.
Texas A&M, a formidable foe, very tough. What's the strategy in the first half?
Like I said, we got to match their physicality. We got to keep them off the glass, defend them without fouling, and then take care of the ball, making sure we get shots every time. If we do that systematically, we'll give ourselves a good chance to win tonight.
Always appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.
Todd Golden was very clear with his guys at the film this morning. We must limit this A&M team to one shot, and if we can and get clean rebounds, Florida A&M wants to go fast.
Whoa, how about that quick three from Walter Clayton?
I said Florida A&M. They're not playing today. Florida is playing A&M. Florida wants to go fast, though.
Wade Taylor got up to a quick start yesterday. The Aggies made 13 threes, including 8 of 16 in the first half. It's been a constant starting five for Todd Golden in his second season in Gainesville, and this team finished with 11 conference wins during the regular season. And they're coming off of an impressive win against Alabama. Here's Walter Clayton Jr., all-conference guard, misses an offensive rebound as the tip out to Pollard.
Yes, not just the bigs of Florida. Those guards are really good at covering up the elbows as offensive rebounders, keeping the ball alive.
Pulling out to Clayton. And 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock on this possession for the Gators. Florida won 102-88, only the second time in program history that they scored 100 against a top 25 opponent. That one's off of Pollard, and it happened in back-to-back games against Alabama. Meanwhile, Buzz Williams, two-time SEC Coach of the Year, has a team led by its backcourt. We told you Taylor, Radford, and Obaseki, who just entered the starting lineup a couple of weeks ago. And he has 52 points over the previous 2 games. He does not look to pass very often. And he draws the foul on the drive.
Good start, though, for the Aggies. Again, Buzz Williams last night, he lived in the middle third of the floor against Kentucky time and time again. Not getting the ball on the side, taking away the help defense, trusting Obaseki, Wade Taylor, Booch Radford to control that middle pipe with those drives.
Obaseki had 17 last night on 50% shooting, including 1 3, and he makes the first free throw.
He's their best pro prospect, Obaseki, because of his size. He's shooting a 3 ball at a good enough clip. He's got 39% from the 3-point line, but his ability to drive with force, through contact, finish at the rim, long arms, layup maker. I really like this kid, 35 in maroon, going forward.
6'4", 195. Tyrese Samuel helps break the press. Here's Clayton. Kick to the corner for Will Richard, a fantastic first half player, and he carries on that tradition, knocking down his first jump.
The Aggies, they really attack the ball, so you've got to find those skip passes and those backside bombs against
Taylor backdoor. He's got 5 early.
Again, keeping the ball in the middle, though, to start the game. Buzz Williams, either off the drive or off the pass.
Poland regathers. Waves off the screen. Clayton's looking for Samuel. It'll be an interesting battle with he and whoever is playing the 5 for A&M. It's Levesque to start.
The Aggies always have a plug defender right in front of the rim.
Push shot off the mark. Rebound is Solomon Washington. We got some space. Here's Wade Taylor, the 4. 50% from 3 over his last 3 games. Fires over Poland. Man, he is feeling it again.
And a hot guard in March can carry you an extra game or 2, and that's exactly what Wade Taylor is capable of doing for Buzz Williams.
Taylor had 32 last night, his 4th 30-point game against a top 25 opponent this year.
Tom, he can free himself up against good defense because he's got such a tight, quick, low handle. He understands the step back, gets himself balanced. And he is a handful to stay in front of. With the jump shots falling, he becomes unguardable.
Richard tried to lob it to Hanlogton, and it results in a whistle on Texas A&M. And it's Anderson Garcia who just entered. He's the most efficient player on this Texas A&M team, and he comes off the bench, and it puts a 7-1 center out of Lake Norman, North Carolina. Micah Hanlogton at the free throw line. He's the first 7-foot-tall Florida Gator since Dwayne Shinsis back in the late 80s.
Well, he's been right there with the best in the country in terms of an offensive rebound rate. And he's 18.2%, 3% for the most part, right there with Zach Edey. It's not just Hanlogton, though. That entire front line, they get involved on the offensive glass. I mentioned Buzz Williams, Tom. To lose 5 in a row late in the season and keep your team connected, keep them coming back, keep them showing up for the fight, that doesn't just happen. Buzz has pushed the right buttons. This kid right here has changed it.
Obaseki off the mark. I feel that's even more difficult in this transfer portal era where guys can have 1 foot out the door. Clayton, both feet behind the line, his first triple.
What a key pickup in that portal for Todd Golden from Walter Clayton Jr. You just got a knack to get open, reads the defense. Really good in those trail threes.
Wade Taylor off the mark. Washington kept it alive. Here's Boots Radford. Drives on the 7-footer. Rejected by Samuel. Both of these Florida guards were all conference. Samuel had it stripped on his way up. Got it back and got it knocked away. All conference backcourt matchup between A&M and Florida.
You got 2 screeners in Solo and Garcia, and then 3 scorers working around those 2 screeners. Simple offense, hard to stay in front of.
Turnaround jumper from just inside the line for Manny Obaseki.
Just keeping the game simple so far is Texas A&M. Not overpassing, keeping the ball in the guard's hands. The screeners know their role is to screen and go get offensive rebounds.
Samuel misses from 8 feet. Garcia with the rebound. Obaseki fires. Solomon Washington saves it. A&M shot a lot of threes early going against their blueprint last night. And there was a thought that maybe that was fool's gold. It never stopped. They ended up making 13 for a team that averages 7 made triples a game. Shot clock late. Taylor fires. And he is smoking hot early. 11 of A&M's 15.
You can just not give him airspace at all, especially when he's on a hot start like this.
Samuel gets the bounce back, gets cut off. Here's Clayton with a ball fake. And the 3 goes for Walter Clayton Jr. He's got 6 at the outset.
Tom, because Texas A&M, I think they overhelp. I know they do. They overreact to the ball. If you can play off 2 feet, punch the paint, you will get some really good looks against Texas A&M.
Aggies 5 of 9, 3 of their makes from deep. Obaseki with an air ball from point-blank range. And now Walter Clayton Jr. with the push ahead. Richard had it knocked away. They're going to get Taylor for the foul.
When he's on, he's on. And Wade Taylor's on so far. He's made 4 out of 5 from the floor. The rest of the team only 1 out of 5. No dare shots in this ball game if you're Florida assigned to Wade Taylor. You got to be up to touch 24/7 on this kid. Because when he gets rolling, he's as good of a scoring guard as we have in not only the SEC, but all of college basketball. Man, he's a hard guard. And right now, he's feeling really good in Bridgestone Arena back-to-back days.
He had 32 last night. Only 2 players have multiple 30-point SEC tournament games in their career, both for Tennessee, Dale Ellis and Tony White. But Tennessee didn't win the SEC tournament title in any of those instances. Denzel Aberdeen on the floor, the first time for Florida. They also bring Alex Condon off the bench, and A&M has Jace Carter checking in for the first time. Fadeaway from the lane, off the mark. Here's Taylor. Wade Taylor only made 1 3 in the regular season matchup with Florida. He is a perfect 3 for 3 from deep today. Here's Levesque working on Houck. Size advantage for Levesque, a little baby hook.
Good play call by Buzz Williams, seeing the mismatch Runs a simple little back screen, 45-degree angle to get him posted on the left block and lets his big guy go to work.
That is a 40-pound size advantage for Wildens Levesque. Condon spins on Carter right into a double, has to back out. Skip all the way to Clayton, shot clock at 7. How can shoot it, dumps it inside, great look and an assist to Condon.
Yeah, the Aggies were down in the action, so what you do, you take your screener and pop him to the top, and now the floor opens up. Florida's a really good interior passing, big to big.
Taylor back to the top of the key. They want to go right back to Levesque. This time he's got the 6'11" Condon on him. Not as big an advantage. Good fake. And Condon protects the rim. 5-point A&M lead. Good cut. And a whistle going against A&M.
As Jimmy knows, Tommy, as you know, one of the great hallmarks of a Buzz Williams program is that each individual has to have tremendous self-discipline. They go through an uncanny, rigorous preseason testing regimen that is not for the weary. And that self-discipline is going to translate all the way to the huddle here against Florida today. I was just in their huddle. I don't know how they're hearing Coach Williams. He's squeaking. He doesn't have any voice at all. There's nothing left in there.
He's squeaking?
He is yelling, and it's a squeak.
Well, he's also changed his attire, and that's what coaching will do to you. Lose 5 in a row, you do everything you can. Now he's got the quarter zips going. He's not going to change out of it. Just ride that good mojo you got working right now, right, if you're Buzz?
Yeah, something's working for him. He's the third A&M head coach with 3 consecutive 20-win seasons, joining Billy Gillespie and Mark Turgeon.
I love the names of his 3 dogs. Rookie, Summit, and Kobe. That's a basketball family.
Aberdeen into Hefner. Thought he would name one of them Jimmy.
And that's the next one.
Hefner had a key bucket yesterday for A&M. Here's Taylor.
Ooh.
And Garcia with the offensive rebound leads to a foul charge to Richard.
You'll say Anderson Garcia with an offensive rebound multiple times in this game. He is a specialist. 11 in that Aggie uniform.
He averages 4.5 for a team that pulls down 42% of its misses. Here's Taylor. And out of Jace Carter 3. He strokes that one in. The change of identity for Texas A&M turning into an offensive juggernaut, especially from behind the arc, is remarkable.
Yeah, they need to make the Aggies just enough threes. They're average right at 7 on the season at 28%. If that number stays at 35 to 40 in March, they're going to be in a lot of tournaments for a long time.
They're 356th in the country in three-point percentage. But that's obviously the average for the entire season. Over the last 2 weeks, that has changed dramatically. Carter commits the foul. That's his second.
We'll be back tomorrow here at Bridgestone as his Auburn Tigers play for an SEC championship.
Marty, we noticed in the first game today he was almost finished with his book, so I'm sure Mr. McCauley is aware, but you could share with him that the Nashville Public Library is only 2 blocks away over on Church Street. If he needs to reload before Sunday, he might need to hustle over.
Well, if I'd been thinking ahead, I would have brought one of the 2 books that I wrote, Tommy.
More than I've read. He is sticking around for this one, and his buddy needs a refill. Aberdeen at the free throw line. That was the second personal on Anderson Garcia. How does that impact A&M's offensive rebound ability if Garcia's in foul trouble?
Well, first of all, our guy is down now where he doesn't have to use the flashlight on his phone to read the book, so that's a big step for him. And but Anderson Garcia is he is an absolute specialist. And his own job description is rebound the basketball and give it back to our best players. So you got a guy in foul trouble that he impacts the game within the game as well as anyone in college basketball.
And I feel like he also gives these guards freedom to take shots that sometimes aren't the best.
Oh, absolutely he does.
Those off-balance, wild, deep threes. Hefner gets inside, Condon the rebound, and then Hefner reaches in.
Yeah, bad foul by Hefner. And that's how important that Anderson Garcia is. And defensively, he's tough. He's a switchable athlete. He just cleans up the glass, though, on both ends.
Garcia at the end of the A&M bench talking with their head athletic trainer.
Tom, as good as the Aggie guards are getting downhill off of any ball screen, Florida's going to have to impact the ball. They've got to shock the ball. You can't let them turn the corner. And maybe you change it up some and play some drop coverage, but I just don't think you can let Booch Radford and Wade Taylor or Obaski get in any type of a rhythm off of ball screen action.
Radford's always looking to drive. It's a 28% three-point shooter. Here's Solomon Washington, guarded by Houck. Houck trying to muscle him, and he ends up committing the foul.
It's interesting. Solo Washington is the second most physical driver behind Booch Radford, and maybe the third now with Obaski getting a lot of time. But Buzz Williams not afraid to isolate his small forward as a driver as well.
Here's Radford. They made him drive right, still try to finish with his left, and picked up the foul. And the third whistle on this possession. It'll be charged to Zion Pullen. 2 free throws coming for Tyrese Radford.
The Aggies don't always shoot straight, so you've got to make them earn it and not put them on the foul line and bail them out.
Radford knocks the first one down. We'll get you covered on Selection Sunday once again at All Star 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Sports Center on ESPN. Reese and the crew look at the men's field of 68 while the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with breakdowns of each region. Then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with bracketology and a complete breakdown immediately following.
Remember, no team has won the national title after losing their opening round game in their own conference tournament. So Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, Creighton, Alabama, Tennessee, man, that's a big question mark. Looking at that bracket overall, all those teams had their sights set on a Final Four run and a national title.
Houck turns it over. That Kansas team sitting 2 of their stars trying to get healthy in Kansas City instead of playing for a tournament title. Radford into the corner. Solomon Washington with an air ball, and then it's off of 2 Gators. It will stay with A&M.
Washington made 1 or 2 last night, but that's just not his deal. He's 26% on the year. So I like putting Radford into a position where he's got to pass instead of finish. This is trouble.
Got it deep. Hefner crashes the glass. It ends up in the hands of his teammate Henry Coleman III, who will go to the free throw line. Another whistle against Florida. That is the 5th team foul.
And Tom, you know this. Buzz Williams is the head coach, but he's also the head rebounding coach for the Aggies. And they spend a lot of time studying film on both the offense and defensive glass. They rush to the ball. They're never second to the offensive glass. They're getting that inside position. And I think they get fouled more as offensive rebounders more than any other team I've watched this year in college ball.
Taylor will get a breather. Obaseki replaces him, and Henry Coleman, 16% free throw shooter.
You know, when the head coach takes over one specific area of the game, it matters more.
Like Alabama's defensive backs?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 1-2-2 look. Here's Pullen. Got some space on Washington. Tough angle with the fade. Obaseki and Radford, the 2 main scoring threats. Obaseki keeps it himself. He would play 1-on-5 if that was an option.
He keeps it himself, and he keeps it in the middle third of the floor. Again, time and time last night. That's exactly what they did to Kentucky.
Aberdeen to Clayton. Good recovery. Samuel can't find position. Pullen runs around but gets cut off again. And now Clayton with the teardrop. And a foul after the shot, I believe. And that's going to be charged to Coleman. Got him for a push.
When you've got guards that can get their own, you keep that ball in the middle so the help can't come in quick enough. And Obaski is so good, starting right, spinning back to that strong left paw. He gets Clayton backpedaling and hand locked and just comes over with hand help. That's not going to work against the physical, forceful drives of these Aggie guards.
Florida in the bonus. Here's Tyrese Samuel. He had an adventure at the free throw line 2 nights ago, went 9 for 23. But talking to the staff, they said there is a very simple key to him being what he can be at the free throw line. It's tempo. Take your time, one dribble, deep breath. He said he knows that he rushed through a lot of those free throws. It was an SEC tournament record for free throws attempted, but also missed. Sometimes the easiest solutions are the most simple.
You know what, but he stayed aggressive in that game. He didn't back away from the fear of the misses. Key piece for that Florida front line.
Radford kicks it into the corner. And Solomon Washington buries his first triple. Largest lead of the game for A&M.
He's not afraid to shoot him. You're going to put a lot of bodies in that lane and force the Aggies to kick it out. You got to knock some down.
Gators have proven that they can score. Samuel gets it to the rack and lays it in. They're averaging 85 points a game. And this one a little bit more up and down than the first semifinal, which was locked at 31 at the half. Handlogton's going to get whistled for the foul, and that will be his third in this first half.
Tom, if you can't guard the ball, you can't guard the three. And right now, you can't guard the ball. Drop action by Handlogton allows the ball to get inside that SEC logo, and Solo Washington missed one from the opposite corner and says silence to the crowd, saying you're not a shooter.
So here's Manny Obaseki Jr. from Allen, Texas. The level of confidence that he has, Handlogton will sit on the offensive end, it's incredible the way they turned it up. He was the backup point guard for 3/4 of this season.
So the offense now is kind of like blocker mover a little bit, because for the most part, you got 3 scoring guards with 2 bigs on the floor that are screening and crashing the offensive glass. It's a simple offensive system right now for Buzz Williams, and man, he's getting a ton of mileage out of it, and it all starts with number 4 checking back in.
And it allows them to save the legs of Taylor and Radford, who play as a backcourt combination just as much or more than anybody else in the league. But Taylor got the breather. He's back on the floor with A&M up 11.
Tom, you've got to handle the changing defense of Texas A&M. They will change it up. Sometimes even within the possession, you cannot get stagnant. You've got to attack them when they start switching. You start standing around, their physicality really can eat you up.
Clayton for 3. Rebound inside by Condon. And then he went down hard as he got stripped. Todd Golden not happy with no whistle. Here comes Taylor. He's got Coleman. Now out to Radford. Radford split the defense.
I say that's easy because it's so well executed. Well, I think the SEC and the Big 12 are going to dominate that bracket tomorrow. Probably combined for 17 teams out of the field of 68. And there's been no separation in my eyes between the Big 12 and the SEC this year. Both conferences, Tom, have teams that are legitimate Final Four contenders. The depth of the SEC has jumped out this week in Nashville. When you look at the 1, the 2, and the 3 seed all knocked out, it tells you how good and how deep the depth is this year in this league.
Puts Radford with the foul, and it puts Tyrese Samuel at the free throw line. Transfer from Seton Hall, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and he makes the first. 4 years at Seton Hall, 36 starts for the Pirates. He had a monster game against Kentucky earlier this season when Florida won at Rupp in overtime. He had 22 points, 13 boards, and 4 blocks. It was the first such line against a top 10 team on the road since Tim Duncan did it for Wake Forest.
I like the freedom that Todd Golden gives him. You can take 1 3-point shot per game. If you make the first one, you can take a second one. If not, get right back to doing what you're supposed to be doing and controlling that painted area.
That's how Marty decides how many beers he's going to have. He's in control after the first, he can have another.
Tough matchup right here.
Obaseki challenged 3, a rainbow shot. Samuel controls 11-point A&M lead. Does Florida want to get in a shootout? They just want to turn the tempo up and get running, or is that too dangerous with the Aggie backcourt?
Well, no, you have to, but A&M did a really good job on that possession of getting back quick, building a strong wall.
Samuel fumbles it out of bounds back to the Aggies.
If the Aggies can speed you up offensively in the half court to the point that you start turning the ball over. And if you turn it over against Texas A&M, you're continuing to dig a hole, because Buzz's guys, they have one turnover in this game. The trusted handle, Wade Taylor, Obaseki, Booch Radford, he keeps the offense simple. They don't overpass it. He trusts his ball handlers. A really clean offensive start for Texas A&M again.
A&M averages single-digit turnovers per game. Condon jumps on that one. A jump ball will keep it this way. And motion's running just a little bit. Condon walks away. Saw 5 technicals in game 1. Nothing necessary here. A&M's ball control and the ability to take care of it is what helps them in their big equation to get 5 more field goal attempts than their opponent. That helps when you're not a great shooting team. How about that quick look?
Well, I saw Buzz Williams point down at his wrist, and that's an isolation call for Booch Radford on that baseline out of bounds under. It's all designated on the matchup.
Samuel to Clayton. Samuel bobbled that one, was able to recover but couldn't take it home. Here's Obaseki. Feels like danger zone for Florida. A couple of sloppy possessions. Florida dropped 102 on Alabama last night. Let's listen in to Florida's last huddle with Todd Golden.
We got to be us a little more. We've been a little disorganized. Keep playing off 2. We've missed some good shots too. We're going to throw another one. Let's go right here. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Show some heart. Show some grit. Let's go. Get us on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go. Let's go.
That's Gator assistant Kevin Hovde delivering the message. Here come the Gators the opposite way after the Radford bucket, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Aggies.
Well, he told his guys play off at 2, because he understands the Aggies will run at the ball if you get a piece of the paint. Play off 2 and spray it for those 3s.
Poland wants the screen. Houck dives. Here's Poland at the free throw line. Condon into Coleman. It'll stay with Florida with only 3.4 left on the shot clock.
Boy, Aggies are so alert on the defensive end. They are helping and recovering with a vengeance.
Buzz squeaking on that sideline up to a 15-point lead. Marty said he's totally lost his voice. Are you out of lozenges? Because it'd be nice of you to share.
He could use it, sounds like, right?
3.4 on the shot clock. They wanted the lob to Condon, didn't do it. Got to get it up in a hurry. And they fail to get a shot off.
Yeah, lack of awareness. They had a lot of time to talk about it as Buzz was making the substitution. That should have been clearly communicated that we have a very short clock to work with, although your team's on the other end. Everything right now rolling in Texas A&M's favor.
Aggies up 15. A&M has made 5 of its last 6. Now Gators are scoreless for the last 2.5.
They just don't overpass the ball. I mean, they trust their guys to multiple handle it.
Very low assist rate because guys can create on their own just like that.
There it is. One guy couldn't get it done, so he kicks it out and says, your turn to go one-on-one.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Poland draws the whistle.
Well, it forces you to guard yours. Guard your yard is of high priority against Texas A&M. But they've got those guys that can foot fake you, drive you back, step back into tough ones. And the three-point shooting again for the season, the Aggies below 30%. They were hot yesterday against Kentucky, and now 6 out of 11 today.
So teams can change their identity over the course of a very long season.
Sure.
Is this who A&M is now, or are these just 2 blips on the radar?
I think there's somewhere in between that 28% and the high clip that we're seeing right now, but teams that have gotten better, Tom, to your point, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the ones that got stagnant and said we're a finished product in late February, they're going to get knocked out of the tournament sooner than those that have continued to get better in certain areas. Look at UConn yesterday. Tristan Newton with 25 and 9, and Cam Spencer had 20 points and 9 assists. Their ball movement just continues as good as they are. Every time I watch UConn, I just think, man, they're a clip better than they were the last week when I watched them offensively.
Hard to improve on nearly perfect. By the way, A&M had to get better. The Aggies lost 5 in a row that immediately preceded a 5-game win streak. And now Zion Poland with his second personal.
A team last year that prided themselves on taking charges. They haven't drawn as many this year because of the rule change, but man, that's a tough one. Those straight line drives, the defender on the side. Normally that goes against the offensive player.
Under the previous defensive game plan, the high majority of A&M's charges came from a secondary defender, especially on the baseline. Buzz Williams has had to reinvent who they are defensively. That's no big change for him. And an offensive foul with Solomon Washington trying to get position. We got a hook and a hold that's being reviewed at this moment over at the monitor with A&M up 16. Condon and Washington put a little vice on, Houck and Washington.
Yeah, it's Solo Washington right there. That is a hook and hold. They don't go to the ground, but that's exactly what they're looking at. 13 in maroon.
After review, call on the floor, stands, an offensive foul. Florida retains possession.
Under Buzz Williams, they have always embraced the hard parts of the game, the Aggies, and that's the ball's on the glass. They fight you, they miss shots, sometimes fuel them. They're not offensive sensitive.
No, they are not. Here's Condon. They brought the double from two bigs. Aberdeen, rare 3 for Denzel Aberdeen.
Good example, though, of playing off of 2 feet. Although he's a big guy, drove the ball, got stationary, played off of 2. Make Texas A&M pay for running towards the ball.
Screen from Levesque, frees Taylor down the lane.
Gosh, how good is that? He's just working off that ball screen in the slot, and the entire floor opens up. Buzz Williams, they master at keeping the ball in the middle.
Aberdeen with back-to-back buckets. He only gives him 2.5 a game. He already has 7 today. A&M's going to hang half 100 in this first half unless Florida locks him down. Levesque with the push-off, his first personal foul. Texas A&M 50% from the floor, 50% from 3. Buzz may not have his voice, but A&M is speaking loud.
If you've got guards like the Aggies, you're a problem for anybody. And March is all about, do you have dogs and do you have enough shooters? And we know that the Aggies have dogs. That's how they are wired. That's what Buzz Williams recruits to. And if they continue to shoot the 3 ball at a high clip, that's just the kind of a problem team you don't want to match up against. And they are running red hot right now. Florida is trying to hang in before they get to the half.
A&M put 97 on Kentucky last night. The second time they scored 97 against the Cats this season. Moved to 2-0 against them. That was a deafening win for A&M, a team that was playing with its bubble life coming into the week. Here's Aberdeen. What a half he has had. A breakout game, and they'll count it with goaltending. 9 points for Aberdeen, whose career high is 12.
Yeah, just the third, I believe, turnover for the Aggies in this first half. And Florida's going to have to tighten up their defense to fight back in this game, and that's a good start. Aberdeen is trying to flip the game. He's a trusted defender.
Just a sophomore. Here's Radford. They cut the lead from 18 to 9. Part of a 6-0 run right now. 3 minutes to go in the half. Taylor, fouled by Aberdeen, and going to the free throw line. Champ Week rolls on tonight on ESPN with a Phillips 66 Big 12 championship game. Iowa State is undefeated in their history in the title game, 5-0. Meanwhile, Houston's 30-3. They've won 11 straight. Then after that, NC State looks to steal a bid. The 10 seed in the ACC tournament, taking off number 1 seed in North Carolina.
Iowa State, one of the key wins for Texas A&M this year. That's why I felt all along they were in really good shape. Even if they were losing that 5-game stretch, they beat Iowa State on a neutral floor. And they have locked up an NCAA berth, regardless of the outcome of this one. Well, you've got to keep Wade Taylor and Boots Radford, Obasky off that free throw line. What a pressure release Buzz Williams has when the game gets tight or a tough situation. Put it in the ball handler, let him make a play, and he's got 3 good options with it.
He's got 18 here in the first half. Looking for the first SEC player to have back-to-back 30-point games in the same tournament ever.
A&M will show zone, but they're just switching everything. You got to keep moving. Don't guard yourself. Don't be stagnant.
Aberdeen fires. Indeed, he has been sizzling. He has tied his career high with a 12-point half.
Yeah, by himself, he's keeping Florida with a pulse right now. Does Florida have the defensive chops to get back-to-back stops and close this thing down in the last 2 minutes?
Taylor, mid-range, contested jumper. He's got a 20-point first half.
Found that is money because he had 2 defenders go right with him off the ball screen. He still makes a tough shot.
Richard answers.
You asked me earlier about Florida's pace. They want to get that thing going, man. You're going to have to go basket for basket right now in this game.
Taylor again. Go. Florida has opened up the throttle. 4-on-3. Transition for Richard. He'll launch again. Loose ball, caroms off the rim and controlled by Obaseki. Wade Taylor IV had a 32-point night last night. That included 18 in the first half. He's already surpassed that number here in the first half today.
And Buzz Williams, you can see he's tapping the brakes right now. He goes to his strong play call, strongest for those guards, get to a strong hand.
Obaseki dumps it off. Coleman left it short. Here's Obaseki again, and he's fouled.
Just a massive amount of Valentine and toughness from the Aggies when the ball's on the glass. It's not just their bigs. They all get involved. Obaseki misses the shot, but comes right back into the fight. Secures the loose one. They are so good, Tom, at drawing fouls off the offensive glass.
Wade Taylor says, yeah, a little bit of help is welcome. Here's Obaseki. Buzz Williams really keeps his messaging simple. He's got 3 speeds for his offense: red, yellow, and green. And you can guess what that means. And they've gone from green at the outset of this thing to, if not red, at least a deep orange to try and slow down Florida's momentum.
Yeah, no doubt. A yield sign has now been put up a little bit.
Jace Carter commits his 3rd personal.
Texas A&M, they have their own lingo, and they don't let a lot of people inside how they communicate with one another. They have a great belief in how the Aggies, are supposed to play the game and give them the best chance to win, and they have all bought in.
Do you speak that language?
I understand a few of their things, but Buzz Williams is a unique guy. No one has a busier day planner than Buzz Williams, and he sticks to his routine. But his guys are all in on how the Aggies are supposed to play. They don't worry about other guys' style, the other guys' pace. And it's a simple format right now for Buzz Williams. Great guards. The bigs know their roles.
He labels his guards either go-gets or get-backs. And that's in regard to crashing the offensive glass. Boots Radford is an all-time go-get. He's got more go-gets than get-backs. Radford shakes Aberdeen but didn't drive on him. Under a minute to play and a half. Shakes him again. Pull-up jumper, no. Rebound Poland. Here comes Florida. Full steam ahead for Zion Poland. Kind of kicks it out instead of taking it up. He was all alone. Near steal. Poland recovers. Off balance. Gets it.
Zion Poland he's as good with the ball that we have in the SEC. The number of minutes that he plays and the few turnovers that he plays. We've talked a lot about the Aggies guards. Florida, they got some studs as well. Zion Poland, Walter Clayton Jr., Will Richard, Kugel. Tom, just because you're on the bench doesn't mean that you're not in the game. And Aberdeen comes in off the bench, seeing the game really well, knowing that his team needed a shot of energy, a shot of toughness. has driven the ball, has knocked down shots defensively. He's blown up a couple of plays. And your bench now becomes really important over a conference tournament, or certainly as you get in that next level. You've got to have guys that come in and take your game to another level.
And it's all part of a 20-8 run since the 5:30 mark. Obaseki looks up at the clock. 10 now on the shot clock. Got it in midcourt, now 7. He wants to drive on Houck. And it is knocked at the rim. They will count it. They get a foul. They did. Thought it was going to be a goaltending call. Instead, they get Houck for his second.
Tom, again, where did the ball stay for Texas A&M? In the middle third of the floor. It never came out of there. Obaseki, a strong physical kid, but he gets lower than Houck. Therefore, the contact is on 10 and white. What a closing drive finish for Obaseki in this first half.
He's in double figures in this half, complimenting Taylor's 20 with 12 of his own. Missed the three-point chance, 6 on the clock. Condon will bring it up, big across midcourt, lobs inside to Houck with 1, got it up, and couldn't finish. Good effort by Florida at the end of the half, but it's an 8-point A&M lead.
Extremely aggressive approach. How do you assess your team's first half?
Do you have any eligibility left?
I can hope, man. You need a guy?
Well, we have 5 guys with at least 2 fouls, and we just set the SEC tournament record for fouls and a half. So I'll check and see if we have any extra uniforms. I'll call compliance and see if we can get you eligible right away on a waiver.
I will be on the end of the bench the second you need me.
Get with a polka dot tie and shirt if you're going to play for us.
When you get in that locker room, y'all got any throat lozenges in there? You got no voice left.
It's gone. I'm drinking all kind of juice, but it's not working. Good to see you.
You too, brother. Appreciate you.
The 34 field goal attempts in this game so far, controlling the game offensively.
Zion Pullen launches and drills first attempt and never hesitated. I was getting ready to ask what Florida needs to do offensively, but we've made it a 5-point game thanks to Pullen. And over the last 5 minutes of the first half, Gators really opened the throttle on offense. Clayton got tied up, and he gets whistled for his first personal foul.
Boys, I'm still a little winded from Red Panda, but I did run out to the Florida locker room and talk to Todd Gold, and he said, we have to increase our physicality. They're pushing us around a little bit, but we sort of have to stay the course. They're making a lot of shots. They're not a great shooting team, but they are better recently. We got to keep them out of the paint. He did say the game flow in the first half suits them better. We need to make them make some challenge shots instead of fouling, and we got to score ourselves.
Marty, if you're winded from tossing bulls to Red Panda and not moving your feet, there is no way you can.
Says the guy who didn't move.
There is no way you can suit up for Buzz Williams.
Somebody brought you some crumpets, some Twinkies.
Where's my
You're
tea?
looking at menus for dinner tonight, and I'm out here putting in work. Buzz Williams wants to put me on the bench, bro.
You got to lose the polka dots first. We all know the rules.
Well, Buzz talked about the foul trouble that his team is in right now. If you're Florida, can you continue to increase the foul trouble by being aggressive on the offensive end? There you go, get involved in the fight. Don't run from the fight. Todd Golden told us before the game, and the fight in this game is when the ball's on the glass. Good job by Marty.
You don't be afraid to pick up your feet. You're chasing a unicycle, not a bus.
Hey, look, man. You've never done it. You don't know the pressure.
Marty, you ran like you're 9 years old.
Do you understand how fickle that is? She's on a 10-foot tall unicycle, running around in a circle. I'm just trying. They told me always stay on Red Panda's right side. So that's what I was trying to do. I was following coachable, Jimmy Dykes.
One bad toss and you'll be on the wrong side. Here's Solomon Washington drawing the foul. That's on Handlogton, and that is his 4th. And they'll have to go right back to the bench to Condon.
Tom, it's a team full of drivers. We talk about the 3 guards, but solo Washington, Buzz Williams will play call for him 2 or 3 times a half to get him isolated and get his big body with a long, fast first step off the drive going downhill.
69% from the free throw line on the season for Washington. First attempt today. Reminder, the winner gets Auburn tomorrow on ESPN, 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central, for an SEC tournament championship. And with that, a trophy and an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament.
Buzz Williams will tell you that Solo Washington is the smartest guy that he's got on the team, that he always wants the toughest defensive assignment regardless if it's at 1 through 4 position. But he really sees the game at an elite level. And Auburn getting all they want right now in terms of who they're going to match up against tomorrow.
Auburn coaching staff on hand to get that live scout in. Can split with these two. Here's Richard, quick pass to Samuel. And he turned it right over.
Yeah, he hesitated on the pass because the weak side was open early.
Bassicki has it ripped by Samuel. Good hands by the big, giving back. It's a gift exchange here in the second half. Washington wants a touch. Radford instead looking to drive on Clayton. There's the touch for Washington. Working on Richard. He was bound and determined to get a shot off. Tipped out to Bassicki. A&M not only goes after offensive rebounds, but Jimmy, because they don't send multiple guys back, they seem to always be in a position to find those loose ball rebounds too.
They outnumber you. They win the 50-50 balls way more than the normal team. They go early, Tom, to the offensive glass. On the rise of the shot, those designated rebounders are in a sprint to that restricted arc.
Taylor with 5 on the shot clock. And it'll trickle out of bounds and be Florida basketball. 7-point A&M lead. Poland and Clayton have combined for 13. That is below their season average as a duo. Two bigs out top, the lane's wide open.
The Aggies switching everything right now. Every off-ball screen, every on-ball screen.
Tried to go high-low. Got Garcia for a hold. That is his third personal.
And, Tom, that's not a bad action by Florida. If A&M's going to switch everything, eventually you've got to utilize your size to your advantage. If you're Florida, Tyrese Samuel at 6'10", Hanlockton, Condon, all those guys can have some high-low action if they're just patient with it.
Buzz Williams just got a bench warning from Doug Schaus. Meanwhile, Zion Poland will trigger the inbounds. Trying to get it around Coleman. Here's Condon. Samuel covered up by Radford. That's a size advantage, though. Good hands by Solomon Washington to tie him up. And the possession arrow will take it the other direction.
Yeah, that's my point about Solo Washington. He wants the assignment that is so difficult. I mean, this is a 6'7" athlete that you can switch out onto a point guard, and man, he's really good at staying low, keeping his hips squared up. Probably Buzz's best on-ball defender overall.
Third turnover this half for Florida. Washington says, "Come out and guard me." Rebounded by Clayton. And Clayton is able to draw a whistle on his drive.
Just a simple early drag screen. Todd Golden with his guards to get them more aggressive in that conversion offense. Walter Clayton working off of it, getting a piece of the paint. A third team foul already on the Aggies in this half. They battled foul trouble in the first half.
And that was the third personal on Taylor. Jump hook Condon. Got it. Wade Taylor had a 20-point first half. The Aggies' first half deep shooting has been sensational the last couple of games. Taylor rolling on the ground, gets tied up, and it will take it back the other direction. The SEC Gymnastics Championship is next Saturday in New Orleans over on the SEC Network. Our coverage of the first session begins at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Session 2, a champion will be crowned. You can always watch both sessions on the ESPN app from anywhere. Can you do a grand jeté?
No, I can't even spell it. Wade Taylor had to come out. He's got 3 fouls, and had he not come out, Florida was going to go right at him. And the door has been open for Florida a little bit because of the foul trouble the Aggies are dealing with in this game.
Shot clock at 9. There's a double. Samuel out of it. Boom. Big time three for Walter Clayton to beat the double team.
I know that's what the Aggies do, but I'm not so sure you have to do that right now. I mean, you just gave Clayton a wide open look on the ball side, and there's life all of a sudden into the Gator chump.
Obaseki puts it on the floor. Richards stripped it. It'll stay with A&M. We got a 2-point game.
Well, you're gonna double the ball when Tyrese Samuel has his back to the basket. And this is money. You're going to double that far off the block. You're just asking for trouble, and Clayton steps into it. One of the better shooters in this league, and they are, you know what, it takes a magic touch to handle depth that Bruce Pearl has had this year. You think that just happens, and it does not. And Bruce Pearl, to Marty's point about a great communicator to keep everybody invested, everybody on the same page, sharing those minutes. And it pays off in tournament time.
I thought Dylan Cardwell's energy was a difference for Auburn in game 1 today.
Yeah, for that depth. And I talked about, you know, when he came in offensively, maybe they drop off a little bit behind Broom, but man, defensively, Bruce Pearl does not put a bad defender on the floor.
Great hustle by Clayton to knock it away. This is a game in which Florida trailed by 18. The largest comeback for Florida under Todd Golden was 19 against Florida State last year. For the second half, they have locked up A&M and knocked down 2 big threes.
Yeah, going back to the end of the first half, Florida has made 10 of their last 14 shots in this game.
The drive by Solomon Washington ends up with him on the floor, now eventually at the free throw line. First on Tyrese Samuel. I think the similarity, as Marty was talking about, that Auburn bench with the Florida bench. It's not just having depth, but Jimmy, it's defined roles and assignments that helps you manage it better as a coach. And so everybody knows what's expected of them.
Yeah, and that plays perfectly into Bruce Pearl's system. I mean, Bruce Pearl's one of the uncommon teams in the country because his starting point guard is backed up by a true point guard. His starting 2 is backed up by a true 2 all the way through the lineup. So no play call has to change. The assignments stay the same in terms of where they run the floor. They don't have a star, but man, they are a star together.
Solomon Washington knocks them both down. I feel like Auburn, to close the book, I'm kind of flown under the radar this season in this league, but they're 5th in the country in the net. A&M up by 4. Gators have turned it on the offensive end. Tyrese Samuel's double, dribbles out of it to find Pullen. Another pass for a drive for Richard, and a reach-in foul on Boots Radford, his second.
Really good ball movement by Florida. Florida's at their best when they're playing fast offensively. I don't mean by rushing, but when the ball stays hot. And if you do that against Texas A&M, Thomas, eventually on the third side of the floor, you're going to get Texas A&M in a hard closeout and drive that closeout just like Will Richard did.
Richard 2 for 2 from the line this afternoon. Take a look at the men's AAC tournament. Big win for Andy Kennedy, leading USF late, and Florida Atlantic and Temple play just a little bit later on ESPN2. Anybody besides FAU wins that one, and the American will swipe a bid.
Yeah, I think there's 13 automatic qualifiers up for grabs today.
That's right. Already 2 handed out. Vermont and Howard. UAB is getting ready to wrap that one up. They lead by 11 in that tournament in Fort Worth.
NC State, a potential bid stealer against North Carolina. NC State has to win today to get in. Same way with Oregon against Colorado. This league has determined everything. There will be 8 teams out of the SEC. It was locked up by Texas A&M and Mississippi State with their good showing the last couple of days.
Quick release, Richard.
Again, find the backside against the Aggies. Make them pay for how aggressive they are coming at the ball. Really good job by Florida with those backside bombs.
That was the 3rd assist for Tyrese Samuel. They've stacked the post defenders, and Radford can't make the layup. Condon the board. And Condon and Samuel just standing there like old school I formation. Here's Pullen.
No way Taylor in Florida has taken advantage of it. Closing this game down.
Whoa, Washington ran into Radford. Samuel kicks it out looking for another dime. And he got that. It's Clayton again.
Yeah, same thing, man. That backside is always open for the most part against Texas A&M. They're a small team. They swarm the ball, and Florida has figured it out in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
That is the first lead of the game for the Florida Gators. They trail by 18 in the first half. Washington from the elbow answers.
A big answer by Solo Washington. He's known as a driver. But that's just a big athlete winning the elbow and getting a good clean look at the rim.
Richard to the baseline, drew some more eyes, and now Clayton again is open. Counted on the glass, put back good. They said they weren't as concerned about A&M's offensive rebounding because that's a strength of theirs too.
Yeah, the third best offensive rebound team in the country. That size of the Florida front line, it's the depth that Todd Golden puts on the floor. They can eventually wear you down.
Gators lead the country in rebounding. Sixth in offensive rebounding percentage. It's Solomon Washington with another bucket. A&M back in front by 1.
It's not Solo Red Cup here. It's Solo Washington in Nashville doing damage.
Richard in and out.
Have there been a song or two written in this town about Solo Red Cups?
There have, yeah. Obaski crosses over Condon, who ends up picking up the loose ball. Zion Poland hard to the hoop, and a finger roll gives Florida another lead.
The pace is exactly what Todd Golden was continuing to fight for in the first half. Now he's got this thing rolling.
Radford, a whistle on the drive. Florida with a 1-point lead over Texas A&M. The Gators have made 7 of their last 9.
Tom, the run started, though, with Florida finding the backside of their offense. A good pass out by Samuel. Had to fight to get it out, but he finds Clayton on the backside. And then the putback as well. This is a very good offensive rebounding team on both ends of the floor, the Aggies and the Gators. And then in the break, man, speed rush the ball up the floor. Zion Poland so trusty, doesn't turn it over. Good finish, and chomp right back in it, up 1. A&M led 56-53 when Wade Taylor had to go to the bench, and Florida has seized the opportunity, knocking down threes, moving the ball. It's been multiple guys, Clayton, Poland, they've all made him. Will Richard, always a threat on that backside offensively. And Florida, Tom, they found the answer against Texas A&M defense. Texas A&M is really good at loading up on the ball side of the floor. You've got to reverse it and find some openings on the opposite side, and Florida now up 1 because of it.
Leads have not been safe in this series so far this season. February 3rd, as Radford takes it in. Florida led that game by 13 before A&M came back for the win. Here's Poland downhill, and he lays it in. And in this game, A&M led by 18. It would be their largest blown lead since at least 2010.
And the speed that Poland brought that ball with and to finish it off makes something difficult look easy.
Another miss at the rim. Garcia caught an elbow, and that'll be a foul on Florida.
And Jimmy, you talk about the aggression Zion Poland goes to the rack with. That's exactly what Todd Golden just told his guys in the huddle. First, he said, continue to play with great poise and togetherness. Defensively, let's trap every ball screen. But he said offensively, push the basketball. They cannot guard us the way we're playing right now.
Hefner misses 2 at the rim. The second one rejected by Condon.
Yeah, Todd told his team this morning, if we get that defensive rebound, I want to run and make A&M pay for their transition defense.
Aberdeen open. He has been magical. A career high for Aberdeen, 15 points.
I mean, it all started, though, with that bull rush speed of Florida in the conversion offense, getting the Aggies in a defensive scramble early. And again, finding the backside for open, clean threes.
Taylor into Houck. Garcia put back foul.
Dialing up the speed in this game is Todd Golden. And Clayton pushed that ball up knowing that Aberdeen's going to be on the weak side. Boy, how big of a difference maker has this kid been in the semifinals of the SEC on Saturday?
He has been a lifesaver for this team, averaging 2.5 a game, 15 today for the 4-star recruit out of Dr. Phillips in Orlando. That last foul was on Alex Condon, his third. Anderson Garcia misses the first of 2, 70% on the season for Garcia.
I love this kid's story, though. Anderson Garcia grew up in the Dominican Republic. And Tom, he played in shoes growing up that were too small for him. So he has done a phenomenal job of collecting gear from that Aggie athletic department, sending it back to his home country and distributing to those kids that he knows are going through the same things that he grew up. Same challenges. It's got a huge heart for others. Obviously a huge heart for snagging rebounds. Watch out.
Condon off the mark with the 3. His first 3-point attempt of the game. Aggies down by 5. Radford and Taylor on the floor together once again after Taylor had to sit for a few minutes. Radford after the crossover. Rebounded by Aberdeen. Tried to go behind his back. Lost the basketball. Hefner takes it away. Radford behind Garcia, gets downhill and gets to the rim.
Buzz Williams got the timeout. He is going to keep the ball in the middle part of the floor just like he did against Kentucky.
That starts at 1 o'clock Eastern right here from Nashville. The winner of this one gets Auburn for the SEC title. Houck feeds Clayton on a backdoor cut, and it fell off the rim. And now A&M, Jimmy Dykes is going to have to find its guards that have gone missing. They combined for 40 points in the first half, only 4 in the second half. Wade Taylor had 20 at the break. He has not added to that total.
And how do you find them? You get ball screen action and keep the ball in the middle. If you're Buzz Williams, Solo dives out of it. Just go right back at it again. Keeping the game simple offensively right now.
Taylor waiting for a touch on the right wing. They come out to trap at midcourt. Washington drives all the way downhill, went for the flush, got denied. And then Condon was out of bounds, had not reset inbounds before the ball touched him.
Tom, I talked about Florida's ball screen defense. Todd Golden's thinking the same thing because he went aggressively and trapped the ball, forcing others to make a play besides Radford, Obaseki, Wade Taylor. Going to live with it if guys like Solo Washington can close this game out.
Radford launches the 3 off the inbounds. It's an air ball. Garcia saves it to Washington going into the trombones. Shot clock at 10. Here's Radford again. Full head of steam. Couldn't get it. Bad angle. Houck lost it. Richard can't grab it. Radford finds it again, and then he gets fouled on a reach in from behind by Thomas Houck, which is his 4th.
It is relentless pursuit of the basketball by Texas A&M. They have built this program off of the hard parts of the game, and Anderson Garcia is a specialist at it. When he wrote his own job description in terms of what he's supposed to be as a player, pretty simple. I get the ball back and give it to our best players. And a lot of guys need to take the lead of what Anderson Garcia, in terms of how he sees himself as a player, makes winning plays.
Hanlogton re-enters with 4 personal fouls. Boots Radford. He has 5 points this half. Meanwhile, Solomon Washington's got to relace his shoes. They take the bunny around the tree, poke it back through, and you're set. We're going to double knot? No? Okay, that's risky, but we'll play on. Radford used every bit of the rim. A&M within 1. We haven't seen Radford, Obaseki, and Taylor on the floor at the same time much this second half. Obaseki replaces Radford. Zion Pullen looks for Samuel. Great feed and fantastic finish.
Yeah, in a crowd. Samuel just went up and ate the ball, man, as a roll guy. Now that ball screen action, that was not an easy pass to come down with in traffic.
Samuel all the way out on Taylor. Skip to Obaseki. That's shut off, and now Taylor maneuvering in the lane. Garcia got his hands on it. We got a jump ball. A&M retains possession.
But Todd Golden getting very aggressive now with his defense. He's starting to trap the ball more and more as this second half goes on.
So what's the answer for A&M when he does that?
You got to keep the ball hot. You got to keep it moving. Use that trap against him if you're Texas A&M. You got the guard play to do it.
Taylor over the top of Handlogton. He's got 23, 75 points in this tournament, most since Colin Sexton in 2018. 70 apiece. Corner three for the lead, in and out. Solomon Washington the board. Taylor into Poland. Threw it away. Aberdeen will lead. No numbers, no matter. Takes it anyway, and a blocking foul will put him at the line.
Well, Wade Taylor is always so dangerous, Tom, as the out-of-bounds underpasser for Texas A&M. You can't lose him. I mean, he's going to pass it in and just win the foot race to the ball. Watch Wade Taylor. Bam, that's just too easy. And a short closeout cannot happen. And a tie game went from a 2-point lead now for Florida. Attitude, his work ethic, everything about him, Todd Golden, building this program around. This kid stands for, and he has made a big, big difference in this game so far with under 8 to go.
Florida has built its wins in this tournament on runs. Against Alabama last night, they went on a game-clinching 19-2 run. In this one, they are on a 24-8 run thanks to Aberdeen's free throws, who, by the way, in the previous matchup between these two teams scored 2 points. He's got 17 today. Solomon Washington drives on Samuel.
Wow.
Hangs and hits.
What a grown man drive by Solo Washington. I know I sound like a broken record, but again, Buzz Williams is not going to do anything but keep the ball in the middle third of the floor and get downhill.
Wow, big-time three from Will Richard. His third of the game. Florida back in front by a trio.
He has not shot it great this year, 29% on the season, but well, if he shoots at 35 to 40% going forward, a major boost for Florida.
Washington trying to shake Samuel. Went into him, and Samuel tied him up.
Now the timeout, Buzz Williams. This is an isolation play for Solo Washington. That's just playing possum on the weak side with all those guards knowing all along I'm going to Solo in the middle part of the floor. And Will Richard really shooting the ball well with confidence at a key time.
It left Radford, but the pass wasn't great, and Richard finds it. Belmont transfer play right here in Nashville. Finds Samuel, who's fouled his way in, and they're going to count this one for goaltending. And it's going to put Tyrese Samuel at the free throw line.
It all started with putting a 7-footer on the ball, which made a very difficult pass for Buzz Williams to get it inbounds. They come away with the rip. And again, Todd Golden telling his guys this morning, that film session, anytime we get a clean defensive rebound, I want us going drag race pace. And Tyrese Samuel, as a big, gets out in front of the Aggie defense and gets himself a bucket because of it.
It was the third personal on Obaseki. They are reviewing this goaltending call. It was after the ball hit the glass and shouldn't take long. And indeed, they already confirmed it.
To review, goaltending stands, 2 points for Florida.
They got serious about the battle on the glass and getting really aggressive in their run game, and it's paid off big time right now with a chance to push this thing to a 6-point lead. Doesn't quite happen.
Radford with the board. Radford behind Garcia, crosses over again. There's that same ball screen defense Florida has struggled with. Obaseki into the paint. Pivots again, like taking a couch up a hallway. Can't find anything.
What a job by Will Richard to use the wood as his friend.
Richard for 3. That was halfway home and fell out. A&M had a chance to push. Taylor for 3. 5 Gators in double figures led by Aberdeen 17. Coming out party for number 11. They're really shoving inside between Samuel and Obaseki. Aberdeen again! 20-point performance for the sophomore Denzel Aberdeen.
Man, when you're just a little bit of a paint touch shrinks that defense. They come off the corner. And Denzel Aberdeen, starring like Denzel Washington right now at the SEC tournament. The kid that's got very little run this year steps in and says, "Coach, I'm ready for the big stage." Has just shot Florida to an 8-point lead.
Denzel Aberdeen says bet on 11.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just a little bit of a paint touch is going to drag Wade Taylor off of the shooter in the corner. Oh, right there, just gets attracted to the ball and steps up. And man, 11 in white, how good has he been? Feel the steal on the release and the hold.
It's my favorite part of the postseason. No matter what has happened in the regular season, you get an opportunity on a big stage to prove to people that you can hang with everybody else, and Aberdeen's taking full advantage.
Yeah, names are made and stars are born, not just in conference tournaments, but in the NCAA, averaging 2.6 coming in. He's got a 20-point game working right now.
Here's Radford. Of all the great guards on the floor, if you had the bet that we'd be talking about Denzel Aberdeen, those would have been the longest odds among Taylor and Radford, Poland and Clayton, all conference.
Tom, A&M has now missed 12 of their last 15 field goal attempts. Florida's defense has tightened up. Todd Golden has changed. He's pressured the ball a little bit. He's trapped just enough. Not letting these Aggie guards get comfortable coming downhill, making life tough.
Solomon Washington has one more coming his way. Carter returns. Obaseki gets a breather. A&M has made the championship game each of the last 2 seasons. Both times Buzz Williams' team ran out of gas come Sunday. He is using his bench liberally here on this semifinal Saturday. Aberdeen waits in the corner.
They're showing zone, the Aggies are, but primarily they're just going to switch everything. They want you stagnant, thinking it's a zone. You got to keep moving.
So you just run your man offense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you do, and Todd knows it.
Shot clock at 10. Pulling dishes, and the 3 from Richard is off. Handlogton on the glass. Foul on the rebound.
One of the better offensive rebounders individually in the country. And he's had the same percentage on the offensive glass as Zach Edey all year long has this kid, Handlogton.
That was the 4th on Anderson Garcia.
Rode the elevator with him, I believe on Thursday.
It all runs together.
Yeah, and the lady asked, "Young man, how tall are you?" He said, "I'm 7'1". She said, "How long have you been 7'1"? He said, "I haven't thought about it lately, but I was 6'11" when I was a junior in high school, and I continue to grow." The things you learn on long elevator rides in Nashville this week, right?
There are no express elevators in our hotel. Everything's local. Micah Handlogton was also a high school lacrosse player. Lake Norman, North Carolina, before headed to Marshall University for his freshman season.
Said it toughened him up. That's a physical sport.
Poland behind the screen, works on Washington. They close out defense, 6 on the shot clock. Radford denies on the wing. And the Gators will have 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
And what do you do here? Because you're stuck in a very difficult corner just to get it in, much less score off of.
They run Aberdeen to the ball. Poland lobs it out to Samuel. Steps through, throws it up, found the rim at least. But Radford comes out of there with it. A&M down 6 with 4:15 to play in this semifinal. Radford bursts to the lane, and he draws the foul on his way down.
Boots Radford was reading Buzz Williams the entire time he was bringing the ball up. And a very quick play call. No ball screen involved right now, staying away from it. Just letting his guards now go one-on-one to get themselves to the free throw line.
Shooting foul, and Radford will have 2. 6 for 6 from the free throw line today. Boots Radford is 6'3", 190. He is the only active player in college basketball 6'3" or shorter with over 1,500 points and 750 rebounds.
And Tom, he's an interesting cover because to me his handle is just okay. Like, he's not going to shifty and dance with the ball. He's just strictly a downhill straight line driver, but so hard to stay in front of because of his size and his determination to get to the paint.
Condon looking inside. Samuel covered up by Washington. Poland back out. Samuel now downhill. Off balance. Rolls home. 15 for Tyrese Samuel.
A big, powerful move with a finesse finish. Not easy to do. That Florida offense is really crowded with two bigs on the floor.
Great strip by Aberdeen. Another steal for the breakout star today.
Player of the game, right?
What an effort Denzel Aberdeen has given to this Florida team. A foul on the three and a 4-point chance. Walter Clayton Jr. with his 4th three of the game. Gators have fought back from an 18-point deficit and now lead by double digits. Clayton has only made 3s in this one, and the latest will be a chance for 4. The foul was on Washington. The momentum belongs to the boys from Gainesville. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team.
Jamal Shead, you talk about a guard that will close you out on both ends of the floor. Big defensive plays, phenomenal late clock scoring guard, just resonates with toughness. I was blown away watching Houston practice this year, Tom, in terms of how they go at each other. It's all started by the play of Jamal Shead for Houston.
Garcia with the putback after the offensive rebound for his first field goal. 9-point Florida lead.
Wade Taylor, remember, had 20 in the first half, only 3 in the second half.
Tried to trap in the backcourt. By the way, Manny Obaski has changed jerseys. He's now wearing number 21 for A&M. Under 3 minutes to play. Florida trailed by 18. They've outscored A&M 44-27 in the second half. Clayton with the back cut. Covered. Garcia wanted to switch. Clayton fired. And it's rebounded by Washington. Here's Wade Taylor trying to find that confidence and stroke from the first half. The drive goes off the window and in.
Well, he can make some tough ones, can he? In a hurry. Wade Taylor got that thing within 3 seconds. Was at the other rim. Watch Wade Taylor, man. This is in real time. 1001, 1002, 1003. He gets that shot off. One of the better open floor guards in college basketball.
Aberdeen left his feet to get it in, got lucky. Now Condon nearly threw it away, and Poland took a shot from Manny Obaski. It'll be the 4th on Obaski. .223 to play. Florida leading by 7, and Poland will limp his way to the free throw line. It looked like you walking down to breakfast today.
It did. Playing hurt. How about Denzel Aberdeen? He had 28 total points in SEC play this year. 20 today.
He hasn't had a game like this since the 7A state championship, playing for Dr. Phillips in 21. He had 27 in that game, leading Dr. Phillips to their first state championship in school history. Poland 86% from the line on the season, 2 for 2 today. Missed it. Rebounded by Radford. Radford gives it up to Washington. Went for the two-hand flush. Instead, draws the foul on Condon. His 4th. And the clock stops, sending A&M back to the free throw line.
Again, Florida, they hard trap that ball screen now, forcing someone else to make a play. And Solo Washington says, I'm the guy that can do it. He doesn't mess around with it. He gets that thing and goes on a rack attack. And at worst, you're going to get yourself to the free throw line when you play with that much aggressiveness as that ball screen roll guy.
Correction, that was the 3rd on Alex Condon. Washington misses at the free throw line for the first time today.
So Tom, think about that hard vertical foul by Condon. Saves at least 1 point, maybe 2. That's that front line size that Todd Golden has to work with, and a lot of depth, a lot of bodies, a lot of fouls to throw at you.
5.5 blocks a game for that big Florida front line. Carter returns. Washington gets the breather.
But that hard foul saves 1 point in the eyes of Todd Golden.
So Condon's got 3. Handlocked in the other center has 4. They also had Samuel, who plays as a big 4. Todd Golden talking strategy with Doug Shows. Into the corner. It'll be A&M basketball. Turnover by Florida. Clayton couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, they were very lackadaisical even in their alignment, Florida was. I mean, taken for granted that the pressure wouldn't eat them up, and lazy pass, lazy cut. Very costly turnover.
And because of where the turnover occurred, A&M will have it underneath its own basket. Todd Golden telling him to watch the backside. That's where Jace Carter is standing. And he'll be replaced by Washington. A&M has made 7 threes in this game. That's right at their season average. The bulk of those came in the first half. Only 1 for 6 from deep since intermission.
Keep an eye on Wade Taylor.
Drives on Samuel and drew the foul from Condon. No, they got Samuel. He put his hands behind his back to try and avoid the whistle.
Tom, 4 out of every 5 play calls for out of bounds under for the Aggies, it's going to Booch Radford. Now sometimes he has a mismatch and just throw it to him right in front of the rim. But Buzz Williams is going to get Booch Radford involved going downhill. The second option is Wade Taylor popping out for a shot.
A&M is 13 for 17 from the free throw line this half. This will be their 30th free throw attempt of the game. They get 22% of their points from the free throw line. That's a big part of their game. Obaseki sits. Carter replaces him.
The substitution allows Buzz to make sure his defensive press gets set.
Florida taking a 30-second timeout here, leading by 5. A&M on a 6-0 run that was necessary because Florida came out firing in the second half.
Man, they did. Their ball movement got a whole lot sharper. They started throwing strikes as passers. You're not a good shooting team if you're not a good passing team this time of the year. And Florida, time and time again, they moved that ball. Been very crispy with it. And Denzel Pepperdine having the game of his college career so far. Walter Clayton Jr. with a tough one. But right now, Florida, they're talking about their press offense.
It doesn't match any of their top 10 lineups over the course of the season in terms of frequency because of Aberdeen. Deep in the corner for Pullen. Toys with it. Gets it to Aberdeen. 4 to get it across. Pullen across the timeline. There's another trap. Got to lock it up, and now he finds Condon, but a whistle.
Man, Pullen had a lot of pressure on him, not only breaking the press, but once he got trapped. This is a kid that just does not turn it over, Zion Pullen, about once every 37 minutes that he's on the floor.
It is a school record, one of the best in the country, and a 4.08 assist-to-turnover ratio. Coming in, 148 assists, 35 turnovers for a guy who's playing 33 minutes a game. They'll end a 6-0 Aggie run.
Zion Pullen actually led the nation last year at UC Riverside, scoring right at 10 points a game off of the pick and roll action. And you don't have that type of a ratio as a scorer if you're not really good with the ball. This kid is outstanding.
2 big free throws extending the Gators' advantage. Push ahead quick. Taylor, early release, splash down again. He's got 28. 50 points in 2 games for Taylor.
You knew it was coming. Wade Taylor will kind of play possum like he's talking to Buzz Williams on a free throw the entire time, getting that side speed break set up, and Florida did not have it covered.
This match, Pullen guarded by Garcia. And a bump from Obaseki. And that is his 5th.
Does that make sense to what I said? Wade Taylor will go down here and act like he's talking to coach and not really engaged the entire time. That sideline speed game is being set up. And Florida fell asleep with it. And it just cost him a big 3.
Buzz will steal a timeout as they replace Obaseki after fouling out.
And off the free throw, right there, the sideline break is set. Bam, Wade Taylor's down there waiting on it. And if you're not clever, understanding that Wade Taylor is a high-volume three-point shooter, and he just got one off of it.
It is one of the best scoring runs we've seen in SEC tournament history. He is climbing up the ladder. Allen Houston has been surpassed. Dominique Wilkins, James Robinson next on the list for points through 3 SEC tournament games since 1979 for Wade Taylor after 32 last night. Poland knocks down another free throw.
Boy, he was a key guy in the transfer portal for Todd Golden. They didn't get this kid until June. And they really did not have a point guard solidified until late in that portal battle. The man has 0 in white, been a big factor.
6 of 7 from the line, 15-point day. Here's Radford. And a foul on Poland. That's his 3rd. By the way, all the ways that Denzel Aberdeen is impacting this game on the offensive end. He's got 4 steals in this game, the most for a Florida player since Keontae Johnson in 2019 in an SEC tournament game.
Looking like he belongs, right?
No doubt.
Denzel Aberdeen.
Just another piece to the Florida depth. Here's Wade Taylor, the 4th. Only his 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
I remember John Calipari telling me after the opening weekend of conference play when Kentucky went down and won by 2 points at Florida. I talked to him about 2 days later. He said, I'm telling you, Florida's good enough to win this league. And all year long, I've been saying Florida looks like a Sweet 16 team. They haven't closed this one out. And man, the pieces they have with the front line, the guard play, they are the real deal. And they got a lot of work left to do right now with 1:26 to go.
It's a 7th 30-point game of the season for Taylor. He has 4 against top 25 opponents. He's been magnificent, but he was slow to get going this second half. 1:20 to play. Gators by 4, trapped in the backcourt. Denied by Radford, but a whistle.
Man, that was close. You got a chance to take that thing across the timeline off the bounce, you better go. And Florida picked it up, and Tyrese Radford almost ran through what would have been a layup at the other end. You pick up the ball right there instead of advancing it. Man, Tyrese Radford just about a half step from a rip and run to the other end.
It's the 3rd on Radford. Here's Richard at the free throw line. Another 90-point game for Florida. Most recent to score 90 in back-to-back tournament games since Kentucky in 1996. Richard got another. Aggies have made their last 3. They need another flurry. Down by 6. Radford crossover. Takes it off the glass and in. 18 for Boots Radford. Full court pressure remains. Richard draws a trap in the corner. Never gave up his dribble. Finds Poland. He changes direction to get to Aberdeen. Under a minute to play. Florida up 4. Aggies playing straight up with 10 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Buzz Wilson very clear. Do not foul. Just guard yours.
Aberdeen down the lane. Blocked by Garcia. Here's Taylor now. Aggies have made 4 in a row. Taylor for 3. No. Richard secures the rebound and then gets fouled immediately. And he'll go back to the line with 27 seconds left.
Man, Wade Taylor got a really good look, though. Florida did a good job at choking off the drive and having a side defender, but it wasn't really tight, and Wade Taylor got off a good one. Watch Wade Taylor bring this thing up. You stop the ball, but you give him space to rise and fire, and a big-time grab by Will Richard, and Wade Taylor knows he missed a big opportunity.
Taylor's had a monster game, first to score 30 twice in a single SEC tournament since 1979. Richard's got 18 now. We'll get you to Kansas City as soon as we finish here, but Iowa State and Houston will start on Big 12 Plus. 2 for Richard. In game number 1 of this tournament, Florida went 6 for 6 from the free throw line in the final 15 seconds. That helped secure the win for the Gators. And now Denzel Aberdeen has been a superstar, unsuspected.
Yeah, 20 points in the game, 6 out of 9 from the floor, 4 out of 5 from the three-point line. And Todd Golden, he doesn't recruit you unless you're an offensive threat. That's kind of how he sees the game. And Aberdeen, a total of 28 points in conference play for the year, comes in and puts 20 up on the board. Man, that's the quality depth that Todd Golden has quickly flipped that program in year 2. They've played a single coverage, they've dropped, and they've made key shots.
Season high 14 threes for the Gators. Taylor full speed ahead, all the way down the lane. He left it short, and then a foul on the rebound. Yeah, that's Garcia. It's his 5th. And indeed, second Aggie to foul out.
Part of that Bruce Pearl staff. They are very, very close. Todd Golden and that Pearl family.
Condon daps up nobody. Now he gets some love.
It speaks to the depth of the SEC this year. Florida as a 6th seed. The 1, 2s, and 3s got knocked out in this SEC tournament.
First time since 1983. Wow. Solomon Washington all the way down the lane. He's got 18. It's a 5-point game with 16 seconds left. We'll get you to Kansas City as soon as we finish. Here's Poland, trapped in the backcourt to Aberdeen. Takes his time, patiently takes it across midcourt. And then Condon gets a look. Oh, in and out. And then a Texas A&M turnover with 2.7 remaining. 95-point semifinal for Florida, following 102 points last night. 6th highest scoring team in college basketball does it again. And you mentioned it, Todd Golden will get his protege. Bruce Pearl will get his tomorrow. That's our final. Florida over Texas A&M 95-90.
Well, Denzel Aberdeen will be telling his grandkids one of these days about what he did in the SEC tournament semifinals.